Time to figure out why the hell this thing gets so low. Really hoping and praying it ain't something serious like the coolant going into the motor. Can pretty clearly see where the oil line is. So because I can clearly see where the oil line is, that makes me feel pretty confident that the coolant isn't going into there. But that means I've got a pretty damn good leak somewhere. So as you can see, it was raining all weekend. I popped the hood on this thing, whole belt, everything was wet on the Pro Charger. From this vent, I had to cut open a little bit, so I got to figure something out on that. Back at the shop now, think I got good and bad news. Definitely got something leaking there. Don't look like oil, so maybe that's my coolant leak. Cool, I think I found my freaking leak. It's looking like it's not nothing crazy. It's looking like it's just my dumb fault, which I can live with that all day long. I was starting to trip that it was something with the crankcase, something like that. Reading some of y'all's comments had me stressed out, but hey man, cool, I'm happy right now. All right, let me show you what it is. Forgot to put the peacock all the way back in. So I remember now, and I kind of thought about it over the weekend. You see that peacock there is turned sideways. Now I know for sure it's supposed to be upright. So you see like where it's touching the pipe there? I was concerned when installing it that it was hitting. So I turned it just a little bit so that I could handle whatever I needed to do. Well, now I think maybe when it goes under pressure or something like that, it's beginning to leak out of this peacock because it's not a good seal. But the damn thing is sitting right up on that pipe. So this big pipe right here is the outlet side of the intercooler for my supercharger. So let's see, maybe I could get a hacksaw, something like that, trim a little bit of it up. I don't know, I'm gonna see what my options are, but I'm extremely happy that this is what it is. Now, it's a little bit weird that I've got this leak on the driver's side of my car, but I'm really just hoping that for some reason, I'm not sure where it would be at. Maybe it's in this plate here and everything was just running over this way. Maybe it's slightly off level on this lift here. And also my guess, the reason why I wasn't seeing like huge leaks underneath my car is that this plate and everything was holding a lot of the fluid. So if any of you guys out here are looking at this 50 state legal kit, just be aware there's a lot of little trimming things like this you got to do. Now you see this peacock here. So when I turn it up, it pushes into this tube. So I just know over time rubbing, that's gonna rub a hole right through the silicone tube. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this sucker off. If ever worse comes to worse and I'm not able to get back in there, then I'll just drill a hole in that peacock or something like that if I ever need to drain it. If the quality sucks, I'm on my iPhone. But anyways, had this hacksaw here, just cut out a little notch. You see how much more room it gave me already? I could basically get my whole finger in there. There we go, perfectly upright. I could feel it click into place. Look how much clearance I have, so that should be all good. I might sand that down a little bit, but let's get some of this crap cleaned up now. Spray some degreaser on everything. We'll let this sit for a while, set up. Try to wipe everything down as best we can. I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't catch this one. I just hate the mess that it creates, but you know what? At least it wasn't something serious, so definitely count your blessings. Real quick though, little side story. Something crazy is like, you'll be talking to someone you know or talking to a family member. You go to tell them something about your car and because of YouTube, they're like, oh yeah, I already heard it on the video. And it's like, well, damn, well, what we got to talk about then if you already know everything? Well, we got things shined up under here, looking a lot better than it was. At least it doesn't have all that residue caked all on that tubing like it was before. See, I told you guys I wasn't a mechanic, man. I hate wrenching on stuff. No, it's a simple, easy mistake to make. I should have went back and double checked it. Now, the reason I think that it wasn't showing like in my driveway or nothing like that is because there's a bunch of like skid plates or covering plates, whatever the hell you want to call them, a bunch of covers underneath here. And I think what was happening is that right here, it was leaking down onto the cover. And I think that it was sitting there until I took off and pulled away, and maybe when I was doing the pulls or something. And I think it was just coming off onto the street because, whoo, my hair, let me put my hood on. I think it was just coming out onto the street because I don't have a bunch of marks in my driveway. I don't know. It's hard to say, but this is for sure what was leaking. It was all residued around there, and that sucker was only like half open. Now, it's enough where it's not just leaking out right now, but once the system went under pressure, I think that was my issue. So, simple fix, we'll get her filled back up. Definitely sucks to be having all these issues with my car. Well, a few issues anyways, but honestly, I think this is the first one that's actually my fault. I mean, other than this, what I've been dealing with the tune, that bung that got welded on there janky, That wasn't my fault, so yeah. System's still hot, so I've got plenty of coolant in here. I can't really think of anything else that's really gone wrong that was my fault. Even the PCV check valve, you know, I installed it on there right and everything. I just replaced it on my own to be safe. And yeah, I don't think I've screwed up on too much other stuff. So for just a backyard car lover, I'll take that. Man, I'll take it. I'll take it. Looking way better than it was. Also, I want to say big shout out to everybody that reached out, had an idea about why I could be losing so much coolant. You guys are definitely the reason I was over here today checking this out, but I'm glad we got it figured out. We'll keep an eye on things going forward, but hopefully we're all good. But this your boy ZT Zoomin. I'm keeping it moving, baby, and I'm out. Peace. For anybody wondering whether or not I had a mark in my driveway, I really didn't. For anybody wondering how I missed this from the top, you can't see nothing from up here. Look at that, you couldn't see if nothing was wet, and that drain peacock is actually sitting slightly in front of this radiator right here.